My name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Excuse me. If you are new here, it's wonderful to have you. And if you are returning, thank you for coming and joining me for another stitch with me. So today I am going to do a stitch with me with a chat element. So I'm going to answer your comments, and do keep them coming. I absolutely love to read and respond to your comments in these videos. Excuse me. And I am working today on Daughter of the Deep, Josephine wall artwork, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm doing the supersized max colour version. I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross on 25 count even weave, and I am about 1.7% through. It is a very large piece, 786,000 stitches all in, and I'm just 13,400 through as it stands today. So the way I'm working this piece is I'm doing an 80 by 80 stitch square, 80 by 80 stitch square at a time, and in that square I'm doing an extreme, I'm taking an extreme cross-country approach. So again, it's another different method of working this one. But yeah, it's a fun piece to work on, lots of lovely blues and green colours. And yes, I will travel, I will jump quite a bit, but I don't mind. So just before I get zoomed in, because I'm going to start to work on this top section here, and I will start to park a little bit and then fill in those park threads a little later. In the top right hand corner you will find a I button. If you click on that, there'll be two videos linked there. One of them is the how I start and end my threads video, and the other is how I stitch on even weave. A couple of hints and tips about slippage on even weave fabric. So that's those. If you do enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up and comment down below. I do, as I said, love your comments, and reading out your comments is a lovely way to spend a stitch with me. So just bear with me, just go find a couple of stitches I've not marked off. Okay. That's it. Rather annoying when I lose, forget to mark something off and then I have to go back and then I forget which thread I've actually got threaded up. But there we go. So let me just pop in these few stitches and then we'll get a cracking. But anyway, hope everybody is well. It's first thing on a Monday morning, which is when I usually film these Stitch With Me videos for release on Wednesday. The winds, the high winds that we've had over the last few days appears to have died down, thankfully. And it certainly is much more peaceful outside, although it is wet and a little dull so far today. But it's still early. It's the 8th of April, so I do believe that today we're meant to have a solar eclipse. Whether or not we'll see that, who knows? But yeah, solar eclipse is meant to be happening. Pretty sure I've read. So I'm just right at the very bottom square here, just popping in these last few stitches of 943. So I've had a busy, I said busy, I've had a very involved sort of week. If you joined me last night on the live, on Sunday night for the live, you'll have heard all this. But last Monday, Easter Monday, we went to Cleethorpes for the day with the girls. Spent the day out. Girls had fish and chips and played in the arcades and a few bits and bobs. We just had a very enjoyable time spent. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday I was working, and then Friday night at 5 o'clock Andy and I jumped in the car and we went off to Hornsey, which is up on the East Yorkshire coast, and we had an overnight stay in Hornsey and then filmed for his channel the following day, which was rather nice. Came home sort of Saturday tea time. And then yesterday, Sunday, I had a very good stitchy day. I had Sailing Fairy out all day and I got a huge amount of progress in on her. I got 1900 stitches. I haven't got a model stitch at the moment, so I was able to, put in plenty of time on her. By the time this video goes out, you'll have seen that on my floss tube. If not, it will be linked in the videos at the end, so you can have a look at the progress. And as ever, my stepdad came for his lunch. We had some salmon and new potatoes this week for a nice change. What other news? Slimming Club. I've now got my 5.5 stone award. I've now lost 5 stone, 8.5 pounds, which is 78.5 pounds, I think. Let's have a look. Wait a minute, I might be wrong. 14 pounds to a stone, so 14, 28, 42, 56. 78.5 pounds. I have 30 pounds to lose. I'm on the final countdown. Park that one there. If I should press the right button on Pattern Keeper, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's thread up this next colour and then we'll get on with some comments. Had another nice lot, so We left off last time before floss tube 13, because it had not long been released, so I figured to wait and let a few comments come in on that. So the first comment is on floss tube 13, and it's from Sharon Fennell, and she says, great stitching as always. The colours in Hannah's blanket are great. Have a happy Easter, enjoy your Freddo egg and an extended break from work. Still haven't eaten Freddo egg. It's still sat there. I just haven't sort of picked it up yet. But that's fine, because it'll save. I've still got plenty of Freddos in the box. The extended breaks from work are always good, but the only problem is that it's usually busy when I go back. But that's okay, because I'd sooner be busy than not. I'm pretty sure most people would. I do find that on those days when it's busier, I tend to be counting down to the stitchy time, as I'm pretty sure that every stitcher who's watching this would do. And Rosemary Webber says, love the crocheting, colours are beautiful, are wonderful. Yeah, Hannah has certainly had a good eye when she picked that. She knows what she likes. I have to confess to not done much on it recently. If I have like a Zoom meeting at work, you know, I tend to sit in the Zoom and you can only see sort of my head and shoulders. So I may or may not have my crocheting on my knee. And why not? I have another small crochet project to make as well, which I really ought to be cracking on with this week. It's a comfort blanket for a child, so I've been asked if I can replicate one. Linda Loves to Stitch comments, you've made great progress on your whips. Yeah, coming along just nicely. And, you know, much as I enjoy doing the model stitching, and it's handy because it's paid work, you know, new kitchen and all that, it's really nice to to get some miles under mine. My princess will be taken out of rotation now. I put her back in whenever I had model stitching on the go, but my princess will be taken out. And, you know, the free time that I was using for model stitching can now be used on my princess. If I get more model work, my princess will still get worked on, but we'll go back in rotation. I really, really want to get her finished. You know, we're almost at 80%. We're so close. Sometimes I think to myself, maybe I should just, you know, work on that one until I finish. And when it gets to about 5%, that's indeed what I might do. You know, keep it out until it's done. But at the moment, you know, just keeping her in rotation is fine. I was hoping to have her done in the summer, but it's going to be more like, you know, the latter part of the year. Probably November or December when she's finished, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. But hey, it's still going to be a finish. And even though a little bit later than planned, I'm still going to be proud of that finish. We will persevere with her. MVC says, love the blanket, and obviously your stitching is wonderful as usual. Lucky Hannah. Yeah, Hannah does know how lucky she is. She's confessed to not done much diamond painting lately. I have a feeling I bought the girls both a diamond painting over the weekend. Hannah's was a dachshund and Lauren's a butterfly. So I'm hoping that they both crack on and do some diamond painting. Mrs. Bobbin Lacer says, thank you for the video. I love to see how your project's developed. You're so fast. I love the blanket, it's so beautiful and tempts me to do one just to have it on hand for the great grandkids. Yep, do it. I'll enable you. It is a really nice, soft and warm pattern. that I'm using as well. The stitch that I'm using keeps my knee warm while I'm working on it. So. I'm sure your grandchildren would most certainly appreciate it. Our lovely Clara, who's been very busy recently. She says, "Hi Nikki, I'm glad I got to see your video. I've missed seeing Stitch with Me's and your lives. I'm loving the beautiful blues in both the Josephine Wall and Strelkina pieces of gorgeous art. Hooray on your continued weight loss. You're looking great. Someday I hope to be back on your lives once your her mother-in-law recuperates a tad. Many doctor's appointments and dealing with her being so forgetful and having to repeat myself over and over again. Thank God I have hat stitching." Oh, bless you, Clara. It sounds like you've got your hands full. And I do hope that your mum-in-law continues on a path and improves. It's always difficult looking after a loved one, perhaps doubly so looking after, I've worked in care sector jobs, and it's relatively, I wouldn't say easy, but caring for somebody that you don't know personally, as in they're not a relative or a friend, can be quite challenging. But caring for somebody that you know very, very well is doubly so, because you know them as people rather than as patients. But I do hope that things start to improve. Just a quick mark off. And a quick drink. Official Mermaid's Cove says, "I love all the pretty colours in your full coverage projects." Yeah, I've got a nice mixture of bright colours. Never get bored. I mean, yesterday I did over 1,300 stitches, and I'm still stitching at the same pace. No, start that again. Did 1,900 stitches, and I'm still stitching at the same pace today as I was yesterday. I literally don't get bored with stitching. A few things in my life I'll never get bored with: stitching, music, Andy, and Freddo's. Not necessarily in that order. marking off line by line in this bit because I don't want to get confused. Okay, Maria. Hi Nicole from UK. You're doing Royal Rose method in your cross stitch. Keep doing videos. I'm not actually doing Royal Rose. I'm just doing similar to Royal Rose in some of them. I mean, you know, however it works, they're all, you know, most of my projects are stitched in a different method that works for me. I think Royal Rose is the one method that I haven't touched on because it's not a method that I use. So I've got another big comment coming up next, which is from Mrs. Miggins. She says, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with you this week. I got so involved I let my dinner go cold. I totally agree with Patsy. Your channel is unique. With you reading out the subscribers' comments, we get to know the other stitchers. I'm always impressed at how you remember what different stitchers are working on during our or your Sunday lives. I find it harder and harder to get out of the house, especially since my car died. My ex texted me today and told me my new to me car is sorted. My daughter will be bringing it up on the weekend after my birthday, so 3 weeks approx. I'm a bit concerned about your throat. I hope you treat it so it doesn't get worse. See you Sunday. My throat is absolutely fine. I kind of, it felt like I was starting with something and then it just went away. I do sort of tend to wake up in the morning though with a very heavy feeling in the top of my chest and my throat, and I have to have a good cough to get myself going. So, but I seem to remember the last video I just had more of a dry throat than anything. I've got plenty of drink though sat with me today. User letters and numbers. Initial R. I don't like missing your chats, but life has been getting in the way lately. Many thanks for today's chat. You're very welcome. That was on my last chatty stitch with me, to which I had the Realm of Middle Earth out. It's always a pleasure to go through your comments, and like I said, I've said many times, you know, if you take the time to sit and type out a comment on my video, I think it's only fair that I take the time to answer your comment. Okay. It's Sue. Says Amy's channel is Stitchery Lovers. She was saying, mentioned in my last chatty stitch with me that I'd been sort of put with a few stitches as inspirational, which is Needlebug, Gemma Stitches, and Amy, because we make full coverage look, you know, so easy. And I couldn't remember for the life of me who Amy was. And then it came to me that she was Stitchery Lovers in the Philippines there. We've actually got to see Amy's face on her videos recently, which is rather nice, and her dogs too, and of course all her beautiful pieces. And it looks like she's converting the majority of hers to cross-country stitching, after sort of being row by row and parking and stuff. So yeah, she's been showing her face, which is lovely. I don't know if you watch my videos, Amy, but if you do, hi. I've actually got one of your videos ready for me to have a look at next when I've finished the stitch with me. So there we go. So Sue also goes on to say that she's been out of town and unable to stitch, but was able to watch the videos. Thanks for sharing. No problem at all. I'll be your companion whether or not you have stitching in your hand or not. You don't have to have stitching on the go to listen or watch these videos. And I very often listen to stitch with me's and things while I'm working rather than when I'm stitching. If one comes up, I will pop it on in the background. It reminds me that at the end of the working day, the stitching is there. Another user with lots of letters and numbers, the initial M, says, "Happy Easter, love your videos." Thank you. Happy Easter to you too. Okay, so I put out as well a video on how I work a piece with parking. When I had the Realm of Middle-earth map out for my last chatty stitch with me, I parked some threads on it with the intention of making a video about parking. I did make that video and released it. First commenter is Sherry, and Sherry says, "Thanks for the video and progress is looking good." Yeah, the Realm of Middle-earth map is coming along nicely. Looking forward to adding another Lord of the Rings stitch onto my pile next year. That being the one ring that I got from Tilton Crafts. On the same video, Cher Reads at 1081 says, "This is fascinating. Thanks for showing how you do this. I enjoy your videos so much." No problem at all. I enjoy making them. If anybody's got any other ideas or suggestions of a how-to video, pop it down below. The only one that I thought of is showing how different thicknesses of stitches, i.e. 1/1, 1/2, 2/1, 2/2, all look on various fabrics. So I don't know, I might just do a little bit of a tutorial or a show and tell, I suppose, on that. That might be an idea, because I have been asked about what do I mean when I say 1/1 or 2/2. So yeah, that might be one that I can do. But if you have any other videos or want to know about anything that I do, anything else that I haven't done, pop a comment down below and I will endeavour to make it. Andy says I should do a video about frogging, and I'm like, nope. Why would I do that? We avoid frogging like the plague. Norma Ferro says, thank you for the parking tutorial. Parking has always confused me, but I can see the process a bit clearer now. Very informative. Ah, tick. Aim achieved. One person can see it clearer. Aim achieved. Yeah, my videos are hopefully to inspire those of you that don't use that method, whatever that may be, to have a go. Because as I've always said, if you try, no harm, no foul. You've tried it, haven't you? If you don't like it, fair enough. But you never know. You might just find something that you do like and you can get along with. Okay. Okay, Patty Miller comments again, still on the same video. Hi Nicola, I enjoyed the stitchy session. Did you know about parking or create your own way of doing it before you found floss tube? A bit of both. I'd been using a parking method of sorts on Avarice, and I was stitching on Avarice a long time before I was stitching on floss tube. What I would do with each square of Avarice is that each 10 by 10 square I'd fill in and then move to the next one. But I didn't necessarily park my threads as such, although I did, for, you know, occasionally I might park a thread here and there. But I didn't want to do it too much because that day, that was of course pre-pattern keeper. And the last thing I would have wanted was to have gotten into a confused mess and had to, you know, fasten off every thread and then just restart new ones because I couldn't be sure which colour they were. But I did do it with 310 on Avarice, and I did do it with like a, you know, very contrasting colour, like, I don't know, 783, which is a gold. I think it's a greeny gold colour. So I kind of did it of sorts, but I got into it properly via floss tube. And of course, once I had pattern keeper, it just kind of fell in. And, you know, I carried on. Started doing it much more regularly with pattern keeper because for the simplicity of being able to mark off that stitch and search for the next stitch, and the right thread was always, or generally speaking, always in the right place, you know, to pick up. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of both, Patsy, for that one. Patty, apologies for that one. So she says, goes on to say, I never heard of it before, floss tube. I think it's a great way of stitching, but I don't do it. Personally, as it just does my head in, but I watch people do it. Some people can, some people can't. It's, you know, how uneasy does having a lot of park thread make you? Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? She does then go on to say, I feel like your explanation made it very easy for anyone who wants to go for it. Thank you for your time. So mission accomplished. If you know, the feedback from it is that, okay, not for me, but I can see now how it works, and if somebody was wanting to do it, this would make it very easy for them to learn how to do it. Mission accomplished. I'm happy with that. So on live stream 13, Rosemary comments, where am I on this? Oh, there we are. Happy Easter to everyone who celebrates this holiday. I'm sorry to have missed all of you. I think, you know, certainly on live stream 13, it was definitely unlucky for some because the time, the clock's changing, definitely created a bit of time confusion. It's a bit awful, really, when the clocks do move, because it just confuses the heck, doesn't it? Andy has greatly enjoyed the little facts he learned about the clocks, that Coldplay's lead singer Chris Martin's, I think it was either his great-great or his great-great-great-grandfather was the person who developed the idea of British summertime, hence why Coldplay have a song called Clocks. It was in honour of that great-great or great-great-great-grandparent. So there you go. If you get annoyed about the clocks changing, go see Chris Martin. Joe Sorensen says, and again on the live, catching the replay, just wanted to wish you and the family a very happy Easter and hope you had a lovely day. We certainly did. And indeed did the following day when we nipped out to the coast. And Maria Tempest again comments on that live stream and says, hi Nicola, happy Easter from the UK. And thank you very much. And Maria also comments on that live that she is stitching a wolf currently. Fantastic. Okay, Julia Hyam on my parking video. Thanks, Nicola, for a great explanation of parking. Can I ask what you do at the end of the column? Do you finish off all of your threads and restart back at the top? So, yeah, you're spot on, Julia. So at the end of the column, I will finish my thread and start at the top, simply because Realm of Middle-earth is such a wide piece. It could be a year before I get back to the other end of the row, or a year or more. So at the end of each column, I will end the thread, and then in the next column, I'll find the thread and start it and then park it in the next available stitch. If there's no thread or no parking place available, then I'll just end it at the end of the original column, pop it back on my thread card. But it's simply because that piece is literally so wide. I don't want to have sort of part threads hanging around for over a year before I pick them back up again. It just, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like threads would degrade, but I feel that if they're sort of hanging around for such a long time, they might get fluff ridden or dusty or whatever, and it would perhaps compromise the quality of the stitches when I actually, you know, use the thread, and I don't really want that to happen. Okay, Sharon Fennell, again on live stream 13, comments, catching up on replay, hope you had a great day out on Monday, wishing Lauren a happy birthday. Lauren had a lovely birthday. It started, trip to the coast was a part of it. We'd been shopping on the Saturday, trip to the coast on the Monday, out for tea on the Wednesday. Her birthday was on the Thursday, and she comes with me to my slimming class, and they all even sang and wished a happy birthday there too. So, you know, she had a lovely time. Sharon also makes an interesting comment, an interesting point, which I also want to share with you. As you guys know, my revenue from YouTube is primarily because this channel is monetized and I will put adverts in. I do try not to overwhelm with adverts, but adverts provide an income from YouTube, which I can then use to put back into the channel, whether it be by buying a kit to show or upgrading equipment or whatever. Now, I've always said that my policy on adverts is I have no control over the adverts that YouTube chooses to put in. I select to put in the adverts, but the actual adverts themselves, no. YouTube do that selection. It's taken out of my hands completely. I have always said, do try and persevere with the ads. If they're a 30-second advert, please let them play if you can, because, as I said, they do bring in revenue. But if they are lengthy, you know, sometimes you get adverts of 2 minutes or 3 minutes or, you know, 4 minutes of somebody promoting a song or whatever. Yeah, skip those ones. You know, if you watch the 30-second ones, I'm more than happy. Now, Sharon has commented on this video something very interesting. Just to let you know, I skipped a lot of the adverts as they were over an hour long. I have no idea why YouTube does that. In a simple stitching video, why they would place an advert that's over an hour long. So absolutely, you are within your right to skip that video. Skip that ad. Please, please do not be sat there waiting for an advert of over an hour. If it's a 30-second ad, please persevere. Anything of any length, skip over it. You know, absolutely skip over it. I like I said, I don't have any control, and I am a little annoyed with YouTube that, you know, that's the kind of advert that they're putting in my videos, but I can't stop it. The only way I could stop it is by putting unskippable adverts in, as I used to do. The problem though with unskippable adverts is that people get bored and click off. The revenue isn't as much. The unskippable adverts are not guaranteed. And what's to say that there isn't going to be an hour-long video that's unskippable? And I don't want to put that on anyone. So I will ensure that it's reiterated in my floss tube as well. So if you haven't already seen my floss tube, I will be mentioning this in my floss tube too. But thank you for bringing it to my attention, Sharon. It's handy to have, you know, a knowledge of this, and then I can just remind people about adverts. But I don't blame you. I would have skipped it too. My revenue since the start of the year of a YouTube has paid for me to go to the big stage, or for paid for my ticket for the big stage. So, you know, for those of you that do watch the adverts, do watch another video and things, thank you. Because it means that I can get so much more out of doing this and bringing more content. Okay, Dawn Bucco. I really hope I said that right and not butchered your name, Dawn. She comments right back on floss tube number 1, my very first floss tube, and says, I've just found you in real time and I really love the way you stitch. So I started watching your last video, 2024, and decided to go back to the beginning to watch your progression. And Dawn goes on to say, I'm retired. I live in the bush in northern Canada. I thought I'd have the whole winter to stitch away on something while my husband is away in Mexico. But so many things require time when you live out of town. Firewood, cleaning wood stoves, shoveling snow, trips to town that take a couple of hours, and we have a 90 pounds, 11-month-old wolfhound puppy. I probably don't need to say anything more. I don't get as much stitching in as I would like, but I'm twitching to do a full coverage. Looking forward to watching the rest. Thanks much. Dawn, twitch no more. Do it. Do your full coverage. Do it. We only live once. You know, these full coverages are, you know, a labour of love. Absolutely. But I find it so enjoyable. And, you know, because of the 10 by 10 and the gridding and stuff, I find them much easier than small projects to keep track of and count. But I'm glad that you enjoy what I do up there in Canada, out in the wilds. You live the way that I would love to. Out in the sticks, peace and quiet. Yes, a little bit busy at times, you know, have to, you know, being fairly self-sufficient there, you know, looking after your fire and shoveling your snow and stuff. But oh, I'd love it. Linda loves to stitch on floss tube 14. Says you've made good progress. You're close to finishing your princess and love your Envy piece. Yeah, Envy's looking amazing. That serpent's head, eh? Yeah, when I sort of had a look at it after I'd finished doing that on my live, I was like, wow. The detail is just... And of course, it's only the regular size, regular colour version of it. It's not a max colour or anything like that. But still, it packs a punch when you look at it. And then Clover Stitcher comments again on the same floss tube. It says, wonderful progress. Thank you very much. Sharon says, have a good time away. Then that floss tube there was filmed after we'd come back from the coast. And I was planning my weekend this weekend. And we did have a good time. Me and Andy do enjoy our trips. The day that we went was on the 6th of April. Well, we went on the 5th, but the 6th of April, the Saturday, was the 11th anniversary for me and Andy for when we got together, when we became a couple. So it's always a day that we mark. I was going to go to a retreat, but Andy's like, well, I just may have booked a hotel that you don't know about. Because it's the 6th of April, and of course, silly me, I'd forgotten that it was the 6th of April. I'm really not. Well, I hadn't forgotten, but I'd just assumed that, you know, we weren't going to really do anything because last few years, with it being the pandemic and all, we'd kind of just marked it at home type of thing. But Andy likes to sort of take me somewhere where there's seaside, amusements, fish and chips, or a nice cup of tea or whatever. Well, that was a bit of a long travel, wasn't it? But as I said, I mean, after the pandemic and not being able to do it, I thought that we'd kind of finish with it, but no. It's still nice that after 11 years he still wants to celebrate these little milestones. Every year is a milestone. Another year that he's put up with me and that I've put up with him. Sandy comments on my last floss tube. Great progress as always. Hope you and Andy have a lovely break. Glad the model stitching's going well too. Then well done on your consistent weight loss. Sorry to hear you're not sleeping good, and I hope things settle down real quick. Thanks for sharing, take care, and happy stitching. The sleeping issue, I'd like to say that it is settled, but I have nights and nights. I have some nights, like last night I had a really good night's sleep, and it's the first good night's sleep I've had in a while. But a few nights ago I had a really terrible night's sleep, and it's a combination of factors that's doing it. I'm still getting, it's not as bad, but I'm still getting some intermittent hip pain. I've got things on my mind. I've got, you know, lots going on. You know, there's always worry when you have a family. And these things do keep me up at night, as they would anybody really. So I have nights and nights, you know. I mean, those of you that know me reasonably well, shall I say, will know that I have an anxiety disorder, which I'm medicated for. And generally speaking, I am top side of it. But one day last week, I had a huge anxiety attack and ended up having to, you know, reach for the tablets again, which I don't like doing. I'll be quite honest. I like to try and manage without reaching for the pills, but sometimes it just calls for it and there's nothing I can do. And when I have an anxiety attack, it's exhausting, but I can't sleep. You know, I go to bed and I, you know, lay there until 11 o'clock, midnight, because of how it affects me. And then there's always something then that stops me sleeping. Like, you know, I hear the kids fidgeting, or the lady next door who's had a cough lately. Yeah, on, you know, all these things kind of have an effect. And it's nobody's fault. You know, there's no, you know, blame to be laid. It's just the way it is. Oh, wrong one. I was kind of the last week, is it going to stop me from working? Because I actually didn't feel up to working, but I still went, you know, did work. I just had an uncomfortable time of it and alerted my boss that I wasn't great. There had, you know, I was feeling very anxious, and the first message I got back was, "What can I do to help you?" Which was lovely. Well, nothing really, just, you know, put up with me constantly asking questions today, because I've got no confidence in myself, no faith in my own ability, and my anxiety is screaming at me right now. But it's just what it is. And it's gone now, the attack's gone. And I'm much better. Sometimes these things can last a matter of a couple of hours. Sometimes they can go on for a couple of days. The last one was a couple of days. And these will always affect how I function. Yeah, part of my anxiety is a wish to not want to let anybody down. Although I know I wouldn't be, I don't want to. If I decided not to film a floss tube for a month, I'm pretty sure that nobody who's watching this would be, you know, upset. Well, upset's probably the wrong word. People would understand why. Oh, when you're trying to take one thread and you get three. Anyway, back onto these comments. I did a stitch with me with She Sleeps, and user letters and numbers with the initial B says, there she is. Obviously a fan of She Sleeps. It's quite fun now that I'm starting to fill in on She Sleeps. I'm looking forward to seeing some more features come out. Frosttube 13, Susan Hazelton says, love this, just found your channel. Great things, love it. And do you get the lines on your Ada cloth? Right. If you're talking about gridding, I did do a video about my gridding method. If you're talking about sort of the block by block, do I get block lines? I do, but I don't let them bother me. they don't tend to be huge or, you know, very noticeable. But yes, I do get sort of block lines. I'm not one for feathering, but when I'm working in this method, like the cross country or like on Mary Princess, I don't get lines at all. But in the block by block stuff, yes, I can get some block lines. But, you know, I think with washing and blocking, they're not as noticeable. Mermaid's Cove says on Floss Tube 14, wow, you're getting closer and closer to a finish. Yeah, needs to be a bit quicker though, needs to be quicker. Really, really need to get my princess done. 20% to go. Shade over 20%. Saskia, who joined me on my live on Sunday, comments on live stream number 2, so back in January. Hi Nicola, binging through to get up to date with your Sunday live. Will be the first one that I'll join. Yeah. I'm afraid you'll have to put in the floss tube you mentioned at 128 in here as well, because I can't find her. And that was when we were talking about Sarah, who is stitching jet. So I've popped in her name for Saskia. But if you haven't seen Sarah's channel, do go and check her out. So it's Stitching Jet, all one word with 2 T's at the end. And I'm sure she would love to have you on board. Clara on Floss Tube 14 says, enjoyed seeing your progress. Enjoy your alone time with Andy and see you next time. Thank you, Clara. Hope you're doing okay. And let's have a look. New to cross stitch, FCF Coyote. New to cross stitch. Question, you mentioned 2 over 1. Does that mean 2 threads over 1 square on the 18 count Ada? Yep, spot on. And this was the comment that's kind of put the seed in my head about doing a how many threads over how many squares video on different counts of fabric. Dawn Bucco again. Hi Nicola. I've been looking at this chart. This is on Stitching Shelf. I've been looking at this chart since my re-entry into cross stitch last September. I've gone back to your start and see that you did regular size but max colour. Would you do it any different if you were to start again, or are you happy with that and exactly the way it's unfolding? I'm happy with the way it's going, if I'm honest. Regular size max colour, I think I get enough detail in it without having the massive bit of fabric. It's manageable on my frame, and yeah, I'm more than happy with it. I've got 2 max colour projects on. Super size max colour, I don't think I could manage another one. So yeah, regular size max colour is just fine by me. And then again, she talks on another video of the Amy Stewart stitching. Following on from when you started the piece, as I want to do it also, what I like most about your stitching is that you do not use the same technique on every piece. You evaluate, then use the method that you think will work the best. I really like that you're doing a typewriter method with blocks of 10 rather than one line at a time. I have also watched Stitching Mummy and already know I like to run a thread out instead of parking. Yeah, that's my take on how I'm working the stitching shelf. That may change as I get deeper into this and approach larger pieces. I would very much like to do this one, but I also want to do Haid's one-way traffic. I may end up flipping a coin. I am older than you and feel that at first I need to find a sign. I found one online that said, "Here I am, buying charts like I am immortal. I'm making my kids frown a lot, but if the world goes for the pits, we stitchers with charts are already kitted up, maybe the happiest people on earth. I enjoy your videos very much, and this one had a lovely happy ending." I can't remember what the ending was on that video. I may have to go and check it out. It was a long time ago. So thank you for that, Daphne. Dawn, I apologise. I keep trying to call you Daphne. Ugh. Just a couple more before I round off comments. In fact, no, that's it. The next comments are on my live stream, which I will touch on the next time I film a chatty stitch with me. So again, another lovely lot of comments. Please keep them coming. And as I said, I'm happy to take on any suggestions of videos that you want to see. I've already got a how I will start my Gecko Rouge kit video planned for next year, for the year of the gecko. Excuse me. But if there's anything else that you want to see on here, by all means shout up and let me know. More than happy to fill in gaps. So I've got about 15 minutes left. So just a bit of a peaceful stitchy time. Get some more stitches in on this lovely piece. And see how far we can get. Okay. No, wrong one. Bring out the right thread card for my colour, it helps, doesn't it? Okay, so I am going to leave it here. 350 stitches done, so I'm happy with that. And I will close this video with my usual reminders. 3 videos appearing on your screen in a moment. If you've not seen them, please do go and take a few minutes to have a look. My schedule is, as ever, Floss Tube on a Tuesday, Stitch With Me's Wednesdays and Fridays, rotating between alternative, chatty and ASMR style. On a Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m. UK time, so BST at the moment, British summertime, I do a live stream. It usually lasts around an hour and a half, but has been known to get up to 2 hours. So if you can join me for that, it'd be great. If you're not subscribed to the channel, there's no better time to do it. Please just hit that button and click on all for notifications. And yeah, do join me again for the next video. So if you've got anything to add, please comment down below, and any suggestions for future videos, again, please comment down below. Your input, feedback is much appreciated, and don't think that your comment won't count, because with me, every comment counts. Thanks all very much indeed for watching. Take care, happy stitching, see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.